Alright, next Marvel film, Iron Man 3, which I really, really genuinely love. Iron Man 3 is unabashedly one of my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe films. I don't care. A lot of people shit on this movie because of that twist, and I haven't read the comics, so I'm blind to the fact of what the thing about the Mandarin is. And I know that in the comics he is a being and not an actor. And I know that this movie does that. But to me, I feel like you can't just give that a reason to hate the movie. I feel like the movie deserves way more than that because this movie, Iron Man 3, is, like I said, one of my favorite MCU movies. I think it is. It's hard to choose because the first Iron Man movie, I think, is really good. Just like this one. And I feel like this one is more entertaining, but better in a way with entertainment. And Iron Man 2, I guess, I know is the third Iron Man film that, like, out of all three, that's the third one I liked the most. And that's because it's very convoluted and the villain isn't that great. But it's hard to choose between Iron Man 1 and 3 if I choose one of the Iron Man solo films. This one is so great because, especially the fact that we had Shane Black direct this. Shane Black direct and write this movie. How could you not love this movie since Shane Black directed it? Because he is such a fantastic director. I love all of his movies, and I love all his writing. Like, his writing is so great, and even in this movie, it still shines. I love that the movie also is around Christmas, like Shane Black's other movies. That's really cool too. That's a cool little nod. It doesn't just stay on that fact that it's Christmas. It just mentions it that it's Christmas time. I think that that's cool. And I think that the movie itself, with these characters, he just does a great job of having these characters who are already great in the other movies to this movie. Tony Stark, who, in my opinion, has a great fitting end in this movie, in which I mean the end of the solo Iron Man films. I don't know if we'll get another single Iron Man film, but if we don't, this is a fine three set of films for this character's story, even though stories, of course, can be continued into the other Marvel films. But in Iron Man 3, like, Tony Stark is really a great character, and I love how he has evolved through Iron Man 1, 2, Avengers, and then Iron Man 3. Because in Iron Man 1 and 2, the way that he comes off as dickish, as he's a lovable dick, like he's a lovable asshole, but the way that he evolved in Avengers with how Captain America kind of talked him down and how he wouldn't save anybody else, he wouldn't save anybody's skin, he's selfish. Things like that have shaped this character now to what he is, and because of having PTSD at the end of the Avengers where he flew into the wormhole with the nuke, that was really good that they brought that into this movie and used that as a great use of having this character evolve more and having him more scared and of the situation of what's going on, and losing Pepper too, because Pepper, who connects with Aldrich Killian again, who the villain of this movie, and like how he's losing her, he's losing his sanity. I think that's a cool narrative about him and his story, and I think it does a great job with his character in this movie. And Robert Downey Jr., of course, in all of the movies, he just is fantastic, but in this one, he pulls some emotional punches. Like, seriously, at the end of the movie, his monologue about how he says at the end that, like, first come the dreams and ambitions, but then come the failures. And then, like that, like where he's talking about how he has had all these good and bad times. I can't really say the lines because I think I'm going to paraphrase it. But I just thought that he did, like, the line that he gave at the end of the movie about how he's becoming someone else, and how showing what he's been through, that at the very end was very fantastic. It was one of the most fantastic ending lines of any of the Marvel films. Especially because it felt so complete, even though this character has gone on to the other movies, but in terms of the Iron Man solo films, like, he's done. And I really thought this was a fantastic end. And I just thought the characters were great. Like, he was fantastic. I thought Pepper Potts was, as always, great. I thought Aldrich Killian was really good. Guy Pearce, of course, is in this, so it's awesome that he's the next villain. Because, of course, Jeff Bridges and Sam Rockwell blew it out of the park, too, in the other two Iron Man movies. And I just thought that all these characters were really fun and really entertaining, like the last movies, and just the action in this movie too. Like the action sequences in this movie are some of the best in any of the Marvel films. I don't care either. I think they are some of the best. The way, like, all these scenes, like, I think are gripping and intense. The airplane scene where everybody's falling out of the airplane and Iron Man has to save them all is one of the best in all the Marvel Universe films because of how intense it is, how close they're getting to the ground, how close they're getting to the water, how many people he's got to save, like 20 people at once. That to me makes great action and great suspense. And the ending fight, where they are at the end, I think that is fantastic too. And I love the fact of him using all of these suits to fight off all of these people, all the goons of Aldrich Killian. And I thought they were really great. And I love the distinction between the hero and the villain in this movie because it shows a flashback at the beginning where Tony narrates, and it says it's in 1999. And I love how it starts there and shows Aldrich Killian and Tony Stark younger. Tony Stark tells him he'll meet him on the roof because Aldrich Killian is developing a company called AIM, and he doesn't go on the roof with him. And at the end of the movie, when Aldrich Killian in current time tells him that we're finally in the roof again, he talks about how he would have gone and committed suicide, like he would have gone and died because Tony Stark didn't do that, but then he decided he could do something about it and he could actually create something to rise against Tony Stark. And I thought that was a great villain. Like, I thought that his villain arc was really good. I thought that it makes sense because Tony Stark, being the arrogant person he is, not caring what people think, or what people are wanting, like Aldrich Killian and younger, it works really well whenever you see how tragic it is with this villain. And it really works with both the hero and the villain stories. I think that it's awesome in this movie with them and how it's written. They're really, really good in this movie. And I just think that this movie is a great solo movie. It really works on all levels. In the Marvel rankings, I'd say that this is definitely in the top 10. I don't care. I think that people bitch too much about that Mandarin twist, which to me, even if I did read the comics, I don't know if I'd be that mad. Like, to me, it's not something that... It's not going to be an exact replica of the comic books. It's not going to be. And I feel like people are going to complain about it regardless. And I mean, that's okay if you are. I can understand. I do get mad at other things, but this is something I did not get mad about. Because I did not read the material. I do not know about this character much. Besides the bare minimum. So overall, I think that this movie is vastly underrated. I can't believe that the Shane Black directed Marvel movie is one of the ones that people hate the most. And I just think in terms of the writing, the characters, the acting, the performances, the emotions, like Robert Downey at the end gives such a great performance. His last lines in the movie are fantastic, and it feels like a fitting into these solo Iron Man films. So overall, Iron Man 3 I legitimately love, and if anybody loves it, I'm glad that they do, because it needs more fans. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.